Hello and welcome to the next episode of Mind, Mood and Food. My name's Margaret and I'm an anti-diet empowerment coach and gut health expert, and I'm joined today with Adele Derbyshire,
Hello.
my partner in crime.
Hello, and I am a yoga teacher and creator of Find Your Inner Sparkle, 50 ways to help you to look and feel better from the inside out.
So Adele, today we're going to discuss what's the point in practicing gratitude. So let's kick that off. What is the point of practicing gratitude to start off with?
Well, it's actually scientifically proven to have lots of benefits that are quite similar to meditation, actually. So when we've talked about all the benefits to meditation, and I'm like banging on about why people need to get this in their life and do this every day, I feel quite similar about gratitude because it's proven to help to uplift mood. It's actually proven to help people sleep better, believe it or not, and actually helps with our immune system. And when you think about it, it kind of makes sense because, you know, if you to take somebody that always feels like the world is kind of out to get them and it's poor me, and their mind is constantly thinking negatively, and, you know, things are not going well for them, and you compare that to somebody that just feels immense gratitude for, you know, the water that's coming out of their tap and the food on their table, and even if, you know, somebody hasn't got a lot, you can still feel grateful for what you have got. And if you have got a roof over your head, if you have got a family around you, and that kind of thing. And if you are to consciously practice that, because as humans we tend to just, you know, drift towards the negative, think about what's not going well in our life and things. So I do think we do have to make that conscious effort to practice gratitude, which is what we're talking about, why we talk about it as a practice. But for those people that do that, the benefits are quite big, really. And it's well worth, just the same as I say about meditation, it's well worth spending a few minutes a day doing that, don't you think?
Absolutely. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there, because it's something that I bring into my coaching, that we focus on the negative so much, and you really do notice when you actually start focusing on the positive and that gratitude, the whole vibe just uplifts, doesn't it?
And that's why I think when we look at the list of benefits, when you do think about it, it makes sense. You're like, oh yeah, because, you know, we can't possibly feel gratitude and resentment and sadness and anger in the same moment, in the same breath. So if for instance you start your day with gratitude, which is what I teach, and we can get onto that in a moment, like how you can do it and what different ways and when you should do it. If you start your day with gratitude, and even better, if you end your day with gratitude, it kind of bookmarks the day. And in a similar way to meditation, I like to do that in the morning and before bed at night. So if you bookmark your day with some gratitude, you can imagine the shift and the change that's going to have, as you just said, to your vibe, to your mood, to your vibration. And if you spent just a few minutes thinking, oh, I'm so grateful that I've got this roof over my head, I'm grateful for the comfy bed, I'm grateful for my family around me, you know, I'm grateful for my health, the money that you have got in your bank, if you have a little bit in there, just whatever it is, how can you then go on and have a rubbish day?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I get that. So how would you actually start? Because obviously there's different ways of practicing gratitude. I know some people might think that they have to write them down. Is that the case? How do we start the ball rolling?
So what I like to teach is not writing it down, and it's a bit controversial because most people say about having a gratitude journal, and I did do this many years ago, and I bought a few people that I know a little book because you could capture the grateful thoughts in there, and when you're feeling down you can kind of look in it. But for me, it sort of, it was a barrier for me doing it, because if I think, oh, I've got to do my yoga, I've got to do my meditation, and now I've got to sit and journal for 20 minutes. And also, when you open the page and it's a blank page and you're kind of trying to think of what to write, it just felt like a bit of a barrier, like, oh, so I'm not going to do that. I'll just leave that to one side. And so that stopped me from practicing gratitude. So what I heard once, I think it was Tony Robbins talking about no extra time, like doing things in net time. And if I can do something with no extra time, that is brilliant. So if I can do listening to a book on Audible, which is one of my favorite things to do, while I'm walking, whilst I'm doing something else, whilst I'm cleaning. I love doing things like that. If I'm doing something, I can do something at the same time. So I thought, I'm going to do this with gratitude. So when I wake up in the morning, I'll either practice it if I remember first thing when I wake up, just in that period when you kind of just dozing and waking up. Or if I've not done it then, I'll do it while I'm cleaning my teeth or whilst I'm taking a shower. So something that is literally first thing, because that's what I do first thing, means that number one, it's done. So it never, it doesn't get missed. And it doesn't get forgotten. It doesn't get like, oh, I forgot to do my gratitude, because I'm never going to not clean my teeth. I'm never going to not take a shower. So whilst I'm doing those things, I'm doing them anyway. And I'm just stood there brushing my teeth. If I'm not thinking of gratitude, what am I thinking? I'm probably going, oh God, I've got that to do today. And what about that? That went wrong yesterday. And I didn't do this, blah, blah, blah. And like we've just said, we focus on the negative. So instead of doing that, like, I can't see any disadvantage to swapping that for doing gratitude. And that gives me 2-3 minutes, however long it takes to clean your teeth, of just focused time to do that in.
Perfect. I love that idea of doing it when you're brushing your teeth, because your mind just normally wanders anyway. So why not bring that focus back completely? That's absolutely brilliant. So would you say, is there any difference at all between practicing gratitude in the morning, as you said, and then practicing it in the evening as the bookends? Is there any difference in between them, or are they exactly the same?
I think it doesn't matter, because you're practicing it every day. It will get into a habit, and it will just help you. It changes your mindset throughout the rest of the day, because you've already spent some time thinking about what you're grateful for. So if you did that the night before, it probably change your mood for the next day. I think it's really good to do it in the morning, because if you ever listen to Abraham Hicks and people like that, that talk about law of attraction, riding that wave and getting onto that high vibrational state, the first thing in the morning, before you'll have that moment where you wake up, you're not really properly awake, and you do always feel like pretty good, like, oh, I feel comfy in my bed. And then you might start to get those thoughts, oh yeah, but you've got that to do today, or that didn't go well, and something that's worrying you. So if you can get in ahead of that, then that is great, because it's just going to, get in ahead of that mood starting. This is mind, mood and food. You can hit your mood before it starts to catch with some, happy thoughts, with some gratitude. Things are not going to bother you as much then when they come into your mind. So I would really recommend doing it first thing. Then if you do it again at night, it's going to help you to drift off into a nice sleep. You're not going to be spending that time going over and over and over things that are on your to-do list, things that you've not done, things that you feel bad about, which is what stops people from going off to sleep, or from having horrible dreams and stuff like that. So I just think do both.
Absolutely. Definitely, because it kind of sets you up for the day, and then sets you up for a relaxing night ahead.
Exactly. And yeah, it's just a nice way to start and end your day. And you can get, we've spoke about meditation on this podcast before. You can get meditations that are all about gratitude. So I think if I mention some of the apps and things like that that are out there, or you can look them up on YouTube. So you could put some earphones in at night time or in the morning if you're struggling with this, just doing it freestyle and just working through a little guided meditation that's all about gratitude, that will maybe give you some prompts, to be grateful for. So again, just like meditation, there's lots of different ways. If you are somebody that prefers to write down, by all means, get a beautiful little book, a new journal, and have that as your gratitude journal. There's other ways as well. I've heard of people that do a gratitude jar, and what you can do is, if it was New Year, I know we're a little bit later into the year now, but if it was New Year, you can start your jar, or you could just put the date on the jar and start at any time really, but people put one thing that they're grateful for every day. You could even do this as a family, which is really nice. And everybody pops something in. You don't read each other's, fold it up, pop it in, and then like on New Year's Eve you can get out your jar, tip it out, and just all read. You've got like a year's worth of stuff that you've been grateful for, and you can just sit and read what an amazing year you've had, on New Year's Eve.
I like the sound of that. Have to be a blooming big jar, but I like the sound
Yeah.
of that.
It's like, maybe we don't read all of them. Let's just pick a few and then get back to the Prosecco.
So we've mentioned a few benefits of practicing gratitude. What would you say? Could you add anything to that? Any more further benefits at all?
I think it's just along the lines of like meditation. And when you look at the benefits of meditation, they go so far. Yes, it helps you sleep. Yes, it helps your immune system. But why? Because it works at a cellular level. Because you're calming your system down when you calm your mind. So if you're practicing gratitude, you're changing your thoughts purposefully to create a better feeling. So that is going to help things like blood pressure, the same as meditation does. It can't not. If you're always in a fight or flight and a stress response, and you're kind of living in fear, if you switch that up to practice more gratitude and doing that every day, twice a day, you can imagine that's going to lower your cortisol levels. It's going to lower your blood pressure. It's just going to, so your actual overall health, if you think about it, there's no part of you that is not going to be benefited. We can take supplements and medicines and things like that, but there's a lot of things that are available to us for free just within us. If we just practice it just takes a bit of effort. So I think what puts people off is they forget. I think what are the blockers to gratitude? Well, I forgot, the day got away from me. And the answer to that is doing that habit stacking, which is attach it to something that you never forget. And then you won't ever forget to do your gratitude again. Make it easy. Make it easy. If you like writing, then write. But if you don't just do it verbally. The other thing I would say is verbally or mentally, why not practice actually verbally saying gratitude out loud, as in to somebody else? Because that's something that we find a bit difficult to do, isn't it? I think, I don't know if it's our culture. I don't know if it's our culture. I think I don't know, think about people in America. They're probably a lot more forthcoming with, have a nice day and thank you. And I think we're a bit more reserved, aren't we? So is it easy for people to actually say thank you for what you did for me, really appreciate it? Just going on that theme of always thinking on the negative, we do that with other people. So you think about it, if you go out to eat in a restaurant and it's bad, you're more likely to go, absolutely, excuse me, the food's cold, or this is rubbish, my steak's overcooked. If the food is nice, I don't think as many people are as quick to say, do you know what, when they come around, they go, was everything okay? You go, yeah, it's fine, thank you, when you get back to your conversation. But how many people go, actually, this was stunning, it was so good, and what I liked about it was this, and could you please tell the chef, because that was lovely, and da-da-da. How often do we send a thank you card to somebody that's done something that's made us feel good, or even a quick text.
This is very true, definitely. It could be something that we all really do more of, definitely. It'll make the world a better place.
Well, it does it
Yeah.
because it really makes you feel better as
Mhm.
well. You know, when if what was there's a book that I recommend called How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's by Dale Carnegie. And this talks about, it's psychology. So actually, you know, it's really good for getting people to respond to what you want, your needs and things like that, and doing things that you want. And I practiced this at work years ago. Because if you do that, you know, usual thing where we complain and we go, oh, you know, what I
Yeah.
don't like about my boss is da 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 da. What I don't like about my colleagues is da 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 da, and we'll have a moan. But if you were to actually thank them when they do things that make you feel good. So one of them is like, if you ever get praised, you know,
Mhm.
if your boss says that was really good, well done, then if you don't respond with, I actually really appreciate what you just did, and thank you for telling me thank you, which is like a bit weird. You think, well, I'm not going to say, but why not? Because that makes them feel good. So they're like, oh,
Yeah.
what are they likely to do? They're going to
The next
be,
time. Exactly.
I can't
Yeah.
wait to tell Adele, well
Mhm.
done for that, because she made me feel good, you know. So I started doing that. I would literally, if I got an email saying, yeah, that's brilliant, well done, like a bit of a off the cuff that you might just
Mhm.
have ignored, I started to kind of email back and say, I really appreciate you actually taking time out of your busy day to tell me that, because it makes me feel good. And it might feel a bit weird at first, but you could see the
Kind of
response.
teacher's pet, but yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, but
Absolutely.
just, do you know what? Thank you for taking the time to say that, because it makes me feel, you know, it makes me feel happy. It makes me want to do a better job again. It's like, you know, and just, it's just kind of being kind, isn't it? But actually taking the time to say thank you out loud, or to put it in a letter. Like, when was the last time you got an actual letter or a little card through the post?
Yeah.
And
I think it was about 14 with a pen pal.
oh my God. Well, do you know what? One of my lovely clients sent me a little cookie and
Oh,
a little card
yeah.
before Christmas. And
Mhm.
I don't get things in the post like that very often. And I was like, that is so lovely. You know, thank you for sending it, because I really appreciate it. But it's lovely, you know, we don't get snail mail very often, do we?
No,
So to get
good God,
something
no.
like that, so if you can do that for somebody else, and you know
Absolutely.
you've like sent it and you're like excited waiting for them to get it, and they send you a text and go, oh, thank you for sending it me. So, you know, it doesn't even have to cost much. It can just be a card.
Yeah. It's just giving that bit of thought, giving that bit of attention,
Mm,
which I guess what gratitude is really, just giving yourself that thought and attention.
yeah. So practicing gratitude for your just to yourself
Mm.
is wonderful, and it will give you all those benefits. But if you can spread it around a bit, and give it to other people, in the form of saying thank you for things that you appreciate, but also, you know, like just spreading kindness in terms of like compliments. Like, have you ever stopped a stranger and said, oh my God, I love your hair, or I love your top? I started doing that after reading this book as well, because I was like too shy to do that before. I'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, they're going
I
to
have
think
done
I'm a
that a few
weirdo.
times, and oh my God, some of the strange looks I got to start off with.
But you
It's
see
like, yeah.
people, I did it like, I've done it in a lift, I've done it on a train, you know, like if because you think it to yourself, you think, oh, she looks stunning, like look at that outfit, or I love her hair or whatever. And then you're like, oh no, I would never say it. But if you go, excuse me, I just want to tell you, you know, imagine that person is going to go around for the rest of the
Absolutely
day
buzzing.
floating like they're
Yeah.
on cloud nine.
Mhm.
That little um pebble, there's a poem about drop a pebble in the water I read
Yeah.
sometimes in yoga, and it has these ripple effects. So if you're the person that is kind of angry on the train that it's late, and you're like, going back to the person that doesn't practice gratitude to the person that does, if you're on that train going, oh, it's late, it's everyone's fault, now I'm going to be late for work, and you're like in a mood, versus the person that is stood there while I'm practice gratitude while I'm waiting for the train. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm going to be stood here anyway. then you look for somebody to pay a compliment to, and then that ripple effect, you feel good, they feel good. You know, the day you're going to have, how can it
Absolutely.
not improve your health?
Mm. And there's countless times that I've been waiting for a train, but that's another story.
Yeah. Well, let's not get into that, because I commuted to Manchester for about 30 years. So there's lots of stories about train delays, but that's a podcast for another time, I think.
Flipping it. Absolutely. So, wow, that is practicing, gratitude in a very good nutshell.
Yeah, that was lovely. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
So did I. And
We can
it's,
spread a little kindness throughout the world if people are listening to this. That would be amazing.
Absolutely. And it's got me back onto the thought of, when you're cleaning your teeth, that 2 to 3 minutes, it's not going to take long. So absolutely perfect.
Yeah, and just keep it fresh, because I think, just to finish now, if you get into a rut of thinking, I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for my food, and if you just say it like that and it gets a bit boring, I'm grateful for my, like, you need to kind of think of new things each day. So we've kind of just not touched on that, but if you think about what it is and why. So if you go, I'm grateful for my family, well, why? Oh, well, do you know what? I was tired yesterday and my husband made me a brew. Like, why did you do that? He noticed I was, just what is it specifically, and why? Can you just dig in a little bit? Because if you just go through the motions and tick the box, that you've got to get into the feeling of it, otherwise it's not going to work. So I think just to put that out there to finish on, I think we've covered lots for people there to practice gratitude, which is one of my 50 tools to get happier and healthier life. I think you're onto a winner then.
Fantastic. So if you liked this podcast, please do hit the subscribe button.
Please do, please do.
And don't forget to click on the bell as well, so you get informed of when our next podcast is available.
And just tell other people about it. Why not? Spread the love.
Absolutely.
Spread the gratitude.
Love. Yes, definitely. And we will see you all next time.
Thank you very much. Bye for now.